Alright guys, so today we're checking out the brand new EarFun U-Boom L. This is the brand new Bluetooth speaker from the company EarFun, and we've checked out a lot of their true wireless earbuds on this channel, and I usually come to the same conclusion. I really feel like you're getting a lot for your money with their products, and in fact, I'm always surprised at how their products compare to much more expensive models. So I went into checking out this speaker kind of with the same mindset, and I'm very surprised at how well it even compares to the JBL Flip 6. Now the JBL Flip 6 comes in retailing at $130, where the EarFun U-Boom L comes in retailing for only $79, and right now on Amazon you can pick it up for $71. And if you decide to buy two of these because you can use them in stereo mode, they have a package deal where you can get them for $136. So technically you can get two of these speakers for almost the price of one JBL Flip 6. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about what all comes inside the box, some of the features that these have, talk about the sound, and see if it's worth that $79 or right now $71 price tag. Now to start with, EarFun, again, just like they have in the past, decided to work with the YouTuber Olaf. He is a creator that is very specific about audio. He goes into chart readouts and measurements and things like that. So if you've never checked out his channel, I highly recommend it, especially obviously if you're somebody that's interested in audio. But as far as the technology, it is Bluetooth 5.0. And like I said earlier, if you get two of these, you can connect these together to get a left and right stereo sound. And from a design standpoint, honestly, this is not a flashy speaker. In fact, it reminds me a lot of Sony's speakers. It's just a very bland design, which is fine. There's a lot of people that don't need the flashing lights or the just really weird and unique design. So from a design standpoint, there's really not much to talk about. Now on the sides, it does have the dual passive bass radiators. So this is what you always see moving whenever you're listening to something that's bass heavy. And it is also using two 14-watt 55mm drivers, which is giving this a total output of 28 watts. Now on the speaker itself, this is using a flap to cover the USB-C input, which is what you would use to charge these. And the flap also covers an auxiliary input. So if you want to use something that's using a normal 3.5mm cable, you can simply just plug it into the speaker and use it that way. But speaking of the charging, battery life, you're going to get about 16 hours total. Now obviously that's gonna kind of fluctuate depending on how loud you listen to these or what mode you're using these in, because this speaker does have an indoor and outdoor mode. Now the indoor mode is more of a flatter response when it comes to audio, where the outdoor mode is boosting things a little more. It's giving you more bass, giving you more treble, and just trying to make it, you know, basically what you would use if you're in an outdoor environment. And then another mode that this has is it also has a video mode. You can use this speaker as a sound bar. So you can use it as a sound bar at your desk. And then, like I said earlier, if you have two of these paired, you can technically replace having a sound bar in the living room with your TV. But you know, this is one of those cases where you would have to make sure that they're charged or both of them are plugged in all the time. So that may be something that you would only want to do at your desk and not necessarily in the living room. Now the way that you're able to switch these modes is on the top is where all of the buttons are located. That is where you have your power button. You also have your pairing button, which is also the way to switch this into video mode. You have your play and pause, you have your volume button, and then you also have that sound mode button so that you can switch it between indoor and outdoor mode. Now the video mode, which I was talking about, switches it where it cuts down your latency to 150 milliseconds. But when you switch it into video mode, you are going to lose some of the distance that you can get from your device, and it is also going to draw more power that you're using on the speaker. So your battery life is not going to be as good if you're using that video mode. Now, if you're looking to use this speaker outdoors, it does have an IP67 rating, which means not only is it waterproof, it also has dust protection. So if you're looking to use these at the beach, you don't have to worry about sand. If you're also using these like maybe on a job site, you don't have to worry about dust and things like that damaging your speaker. Now, if you're looking at this speaker to use, let's say, you know, with your laptop, and maybe you're doing a conference call at work, I think they did a pretty decent job with the mics on here as well. But here is a sample of what it would sound like if you're sitting at your desk and just using it that way.
So here is a mic test using the U-Boom L. And again, I think it does a fairly decent job of picking up my voice. I do notice that it does have a slight digital sound and it does add some warmth to it. But overall, I think it does a very good job. And this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call.
So now let's talk about the sound. And I'm gonna go ahead and say this, I mainly just used it in outdoor mode. So the outdoor mode, again, boosted everything. Now this is not one of those like extremely bass heavy speakers, but it does still have quite a bit of punch. I still feel like it is very comparable to the JBL Flip 6. I feel like the bass is tighter on the U-Boom L, which again is kind of giving you a more accurate sound. And the treble has a nice bright sound to it. Now it didn't get harsh, it didn't have any sibilant sounds when it comes to the S's. They just boosted the treble so that it is very comparable to that boosted bass. And the mids on these I think sounded excellent. I think the mids are where a lot of Bluetooth speakers kind of fall flat because vocalists tend to get buried whenever you're listening to bass heavy music. And I think they did a very good job of tuning the U-Boom Ls where vocalists always stood out no matter what I was listening to. And I was very surprised at how well this speaker did with metal. Again, this is another genre that a lot of other Bluetooth speakers just don't generally do well on. And whenever there's a lot going on, a lot of other speakers tend to start to get muddy. This pair made sure that all of these different things were able to come through cleanly. Again, the bass sounded great with drums, but it also sounded great with just pop and hip hop, where bass is a little bit more of the focus. So really, my overall opinion is this. From a design standpoint, there's not really much to talk about, but that may not matter to you. And if you don't look for the flashing lights and you don't care that this looks like it came off the same assembly line that the Sony speakers came off of, the battery life is very good. The IP67 makes it great to use in a bunch of different situations. Having that video mode is really nice, especially if you're looking for a speaker to just use outdoors and then indoors and then plugged up to your desktop. So it has a lot of versatility to it. And the tuning of these, I think, are excellent for a speaker this size. I think in this price range, it's definitely going to be hard to find something that is comparable. Like I said, throughout this video, I have been comparing it to a speaker that costs almost twice as much. And again, that puts this product basically in line with all of the other EarFun products that we normally check out. You're getting a lot for your money, and it just makes it a very easy product to recommend because I always try to focus on something that's not going to cost you as much as some of the other bigger names out there. But guys, that wraps up my video on the brand new EarFun U-Boom L. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.